Imagine a small country in the heart of Europe, Switzerland, surrounded by war, yet untouched. While France, Germany, Italy, and Austria were locked in deadly conflict, Switzerland remained a calm island in a raging sea of fire. This wasn't just survival, it was a story of controversial profit. How did Switzerland stay out of the world's deadliest conflict? The answer is complex. It involved strong soldiers, clever leaders, and a unique brand of neutrality. Switzerland declared it would not take sides, neither for Hitler's Germany nor the Allies. But neutrality was more than a shield. Behind it, Switzerland was busy doing business with everyone, turning chaos into a river of gold. The country became a hub for spies, secret talks, and a bank for the world's wealth. Its mountains kept invaders out, and secrets in. The Swiss were not passive, they played a dangerous economic game that made them one of the richest nations on Earth. Today, we look back and ask, was Switzerland's strategy a masterclass in survival, or a cold calculation to profit from suffering? The country saved some lives but turned many desperate people away. It helped the Allies with intelligence but also fueled the Nazi war machine with vital supplies and financial services. Switzerland's story during the World Wars is not black and white. It's a tale of survival, profit, and moral ambiguity that still sparks debate. To understand Switzerland's wartime actions, we must go back to 1815. After the Napoleonic Wars, the Congress of Vienna officially recognized Switzerland's permanent neutrality. Switzerland promised to stay out of future wars. In return, other countries promised not to attack it. This wasn't random. Switzerland had long been a land of mercenaries, often dragged into foreign conflicts. By the 19th century, the Swiss wanted to focus on building their own society. The 1815 declaration marked a new identity: no more foreign wars, just peace and stability. Neutrality became the cornerstone of Swiss policy and national identity. Surrounded by powerful neighbors and divided by language, neutrality was the glue that held the country together. It was a practical survival strategy deeply embedded in Swiss culture. This long peace had economic benefits. While others spent on war, Switzerland invested in industry, railways, and banking. Its reputation for stability made it a magnet for wealth. By the time the world wars arrived, Switzerland's neutrality was well established. This foundation allowed it to play a unique and profitable role when Europe descended into chaos. Neutrality wasn't just a policy, it was Switzerland's ticket to survival and prosperity. The stage was set for the controversial choices to come. World War I was Switzerland's first major test of neutrality. Surrounded by warring nations, the Swiss army mobilized to guard the borders. Inside, tensions simmered. German-speaking Swiss leaned toward Germany, French speakers toward France. But neutrality held. While soldiers stood guard, Swiss factories boomed, trading with both sides. Watches, tools, and machinery went to Germany. Chemicals and food to the Allies. Swiss businesses seized the opportunity, charging high prices as demand soared. For factory owners and bankers, war meant profit. For ordinary Swiss, it meant shortages and hunger. The gap between rich and poor widened, leading to a massive general strike in 1918. Despite internal strife, Switzerland learned valuable lessons. Neutrality could be profitable, but it required careful management. The country mastered border control, resource management, and balancing powerful neighbors. World War I was a dress rehearsal for what was to come. The experience laid the groundwork for Switzerland's even more controversial role in World War II. Neutrality was not just about staying out of war, it was about turning crisis into opportunity. The lessons of 1914 to 1918 would shape Swiss strategy for decades. The stage was set for an even bigger gamble. In 1939, Switzerland faced an even greater threat, completely surrounded by Nazi Germany and its allies. Hitler's armies had conquered France. Switzerland was a democracy trapped inside a fascist empire. Invasion seemed inevitable. German plans even existed. But Switzerland, under General Henry Guisan, adopted the national redoubt strategy. The plan: retreat into the Alps, fight a guerrilla war, and destroy key infrastructure to deny invaders any value. The message: invade and you'll pay dearly. Every able-bodied man was part of the militia, ready to mobilize in hours. This credible threat deterred Hitler, who focused elsewhere, especially since Switzerland was willing to trade. Diplomatically, Switzerland acted as a go-between for warring nations, representing interests and facilitating secret talks. It became a hub for spies, negotiations, and humanitarian work like the Red Cross. A strong defense and useful diplomacy helped Switzerland walk the tightrope of neutrality. The porcupine's quills were sharp and profitable. Switzerland survived by making itself both dangerous to attack and useful to all. While soldiers guarded the mountains, Swiss bankers guarded the world's wealth. Switzerland's stability and banking secrecy made it the perfect safe haven. As war raged, money from across Europe poured into Swiss banks, individuals, businesses, even governments. The most controversial business was with Nazi Germany. The Nazis needed Swiss francs to buy materials from other neutrals. Their own currency was worthless abroad. They sold vast amounts of gold, much of it looted from occupied countries and Holocaust victims, to the Swiss National Bank. This financial lifeline helped Germany prolong the war. Swiss bankers claimed ignorance about the gold's origins, but evidence suggests otherwise. Switzerland also traded with the Allies, but Axis trade was larger and easier. The country became a crucial economic middleman, profiting from both sides. For Switzerland, war was the biggest business opportunity in its history. Banking secrecy protected clients and hid dark secrets. The profits would cast a long shadow. Switzerland's wartime wealth came with a heavy moral cost. After the war, the Allies discovered the extent of Swiss financial dealings with the Nazis. Hundreds of millions in looted gold. Much of it came from occupied countries and Holocaust victims. Swiss banking secrecy, strengthened in 1934, shielded these assets from scrutiny. Survivors and heirs seeking lost accounts faced impossible barriers. Banks demanded death certificates from people murdered in camps. For decades, Swiss banks denied wrongdoing, claiming ignorance and good faith. But investigations in the 1990s revealed some bankers knew the truth and chose profit over morality. International outrage forced Switzerland to pay $1.25 billion in compensation to Holocaust survivors. The Bergier Commission's report in 2002 was damning. Swiss policies had aided the Nazi regime and failed many victims. The myth of moral purity was shattered. Switzerland's wealth was built on secrecy and silence. The shadows of wartime choices lingered for generations. Switzerland's role as a haven for refugees is deeply complicated. As Nazi persecution intensified, thousands saw Switzerland as their last hope. The country did shelter tens of thousands, prisoners of war, defectors, civilians, but it also turned many more away, fearing food shortages, unrest, and German retaliation. In 1938, Swiss authorities asked Germany to mark Jewish passports, making it easier to refuse entry. In 1942, as the Holocaust raged, Switzerland closed its borders to refugees fleeing for racial reasons. Thousands were sent back, many to their deaths. Some Swiss, like police captain Paul Gruninger, defied orders to save lives but were punished for it. The country's dual legacy, praised for those it saved, condemned for those it turned away. The refugee dilemma exposed the moral compromises of neutrality. Switzerland was a place of hope and heartbreak. Its choices saved some, but condemned others. The debate over its actions continues to this day. When World War II ended, Europe was in ruins, but Switzerland was intact and ready to profit. Its cities, factories, and infrastructure were untouched. The post-war years brought an economic boom. Swiss companies faced little competition and exported goods worldwide. The Swiss franc, backed by wartime gold, became one of the world's strongest currencies. Money that flowed in for safety now stayed for profit. This wealth transformed Swiss society, funding high living standards and public services. Switzerland became a global center for finance and diplomacy. The country's controversial wartime strategy paid off handsomely. It became one of the richest nations per capita. But this prosperity was built on decisions made during the wars, to trade with all sides and prioritize self-interest. Switzerland cashed in its wartime chips, but the moral questions never went away. Its success was forever linked to the shadows of its past. How should history judge Switzerland? Was its wartime conduct genius, greed, or both? Surrounded by dictatorships, Swiss leaders combined military deterrence, diplomacy, and economic savvy to survive. They protected their people and built future prosperity. But they also profited from stolen gold, fueled the Nazi war machine, and closed borders to desperate refugees. Neutrality looks both pragmatic and deeply cynical. The truth is complex. Swiss policy mixed self-preservation with moral failure. Choices were ruthless but ensured survival and enrichment. The Swiss were neither heroes nor villains, just survivors in a brutal world. Today, Switzerland has confronted its past, but the debate continues. The story is a lesson in the blurry line between smart self-interest and selfish indifference. Switzerland's legacy is one of wealth and profound moral ambiguity.